You have a fan. Do you know that? Yes, you do. Good morning, Bob. Here we are for another wonderful live stream with all three of you. There's Janine. Hello. Always takes about a minute before people start trickling in here. Still pretty quiet in here, though. Wasn't bad. The boss was out of the office all week this week, so it was a little bit more work, but that's okay. We made it. We survived it. I am glad to be on the weekend, though, I'll tell you that. Always my favorite part of the week. Settling down for a nap, aren't you, Bite? Yeah, see, there we go. We're losing him. Hey, Eric, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a couple weeks. How's Index? Up to a whopping 7 people in here now. Woohoo! New record. How was the weather over there, Eric? It's pretty wild here for a little bit. Yeah, it's my Blue Velvet t-shirt. Dennis Hopper. Great movie, scary movie. I think he was, I think that was one of his first films, if not his first. Probably the first one he was well known for. That's good. You got to keep the videos going to keep the audience engaged here. Good morning, Darth. The live stream can start now. Darth's here. What was that? Something just settled in the kitchen, I think. At least he's not showing his butt, right? He's just showing the back of his head. Sometimes she pops in a little late, so we'll see. But yeah, I can always tell when it's going to be an easy live stream when I get to the point where I'm ready to actually push the button to start streaming, and there's already like a whole bunch of conversations going on. Child's birthday is today, huh? Okay, I guess that's about right. I remember when he was 5. Well, I remember when he was 1, but I don't know. How old is he now? He's got to be 10, 11, 12, something like that. I don't know. That is one spoiled doggy. Yeah, okay, 10. Yeah, I dog sat him when during the time when Jordan was doing his European and international vlogs. Jaw usually stayed with me. I think about the time that I moved away is when Jordan kind of stopped doing that and started doing other things. You're getting all sorts of work doing your video stuff. That's really cool, Eric. Actually, Jordan is Jaw's human. Work is going good. Yeah, I mean, I'm learning a lot all the time. Just it's there's just a million things I got to learn. A lot of things I just didn't know that I'm picking up as we go along here. But that's cool. I like a job where I get to learn new things all the time, so that's good. That works for me. Yep, it begins. Well, vacation is weird in my case because I work 12-hour days. So every day I take off, I get 12 hours of, I have to take 12 hours of pay. So it's, oh, I don't know, it's probably at the end of the day, um, probably 100 hours a year, something like that. But see, it's really easy to spread that out because if I take one of my short weeks, my 3-day weeks, I can take just 36 hours of pay and I can actually get like 10 days off because I have the weekend before it and the weekend after it. So I could actually do some pretty serious vacation. But then there's also the issue that they shut down the plant a couple times a year to do these maintenance intervals, and at that point, the hours go to zero. So a lot of people take their time, take their vacation time then. In fact, that's what I did at that time is I took a bunch of vacation time, and that was when I went down to Johnson Space Center and went and did the Dazed and Confused filming locations because that was one where I was gone a few days. 12-hour shifts are a long day, um, but it's nice. The trade off is I get minimum 3 days a weekend every week. Yeah, I haven't picked up any new rocks lately. There's a big rock and mineral show coming up next weekend, and so I'm kind of saving up a little bit for that because we're going to get some good stuff there. Good morning, Gene. Welcome to the party. That tortellini was really good, Darth. A Mr. Peabody reference. There we go. That takes me back. Yeah, I will vlog the Rock and Mineral Show definitely. You'll see what I get. I know this was kind of pushed by the people over at Gallery 11, the rock and mineral shop that I get most of my stuff at, because apparently there's a Waco rock and mineralogy club in the area, and they decided to do this, but they weren't promoting it, and uh, they said over at what was it, Chris and Kara were saying that we you got to promote this so people come. So they started promoting it. So that was how I became aware of it. It showed up on their Facebook timeline. But it's been a year now since I've been to that first Rock and Mineral show. Probably a little bit more than that. So yeah, there's still a bunch of the tortellini left over. I'll probably get a few more meals out of it. Probably have some for dinner. I'm glad they're not working you too hard, Eric. Yeah, I love having these clocks. I got word from the guy that's working on the cuckoo clock yesterday, and the cuckoo clock is fixed. So I'm going to go pick that up on Tuesday, I think. Yeah, we're a little less tolerant of all that anti-Semitism than in some colleges in some states. But this is Austin, and Austin is kind of the crazy liberal part of the state. There's actually two kind of crazy liberal parts of the state, one in Dallas and one in Austin. And where did I live? Where did I choose to live? Direct smack dab in the middle. Yeah, I'm looking forward to having the cuckoo clock back too. I like having it. What are they all protesting these days? They don't like Jews. I'll go to Jordan's wedding if I get an invite. I'll definitely make that happen. Coolville, Texas. No, I've never heard of that. The irony of the whole protest thing is that the people that are comparing everyone that disagrees with them to Nazis want to exterminate the Jews. Is that how ironic is that? Guess he wants some more attention. Yeah, well, that's part of the whole problem here. They talk about diversity, but they don't want diversity of thought. They hate that. You have a poodle now, huh? Poodle mom. I haven't really looked at the numbers on the Eclipse vlog recently, seeing how it's going here. You know, that's the beauty of these live streams now. I can actually do that. Let's go take a look in here and see how it's doing. Let's see. Let's bring you along here. What do you say? Okay, here we go. All right, so yeah, the Total Eclipse vlog isn't doing that well. It's got 346 views. Let's look at the live stream, see how that's doing, because that was the real one here. Yeah, see, that's got almost 1,000 views. Let's look at the analytics on that. And let's just peek behind the scenes here a little bit. So yeah, it was popular early on, and then it's just kind of steadily increased. That's interesting though for a live stream that here we are 20 days later and it's still getting more views. Now it's not getting a whole lot. This thing over here says in the last 48 hours hasn't gotten any views. This is always the chart that I think is really interesting here. It shows when what the chat rate was, and there's a big peak right in the middle, and that's when we hit totality. That's when everyone was talking. And this is a viewer chart too. Check that out. Started out kind of slow, and we got up to a peak here of 85 people at 1 hour and 41 minutes into it, which is when we hit totality, and then it just kind of petered off real fast. I don't know. I think that's kind of interesting way of looking at that kind of stuff. I've never done one of those DNA tests. It would be interesting. I mean, I've got like family trees on both sides of the family going back generations. So, yeah, Yeah, somebody mentioned that it was Jaw's birthday today. Happy birthday, Jaw. Yeah, almost 1,000 views. Yeah, I went to Alcatraz many, many years ago with my dad and my uncle. It was very interesting. Yeah, it was, that was way before I was vlogging. Yeah, been there. It's an interesting place. April flowers bring Mayflower. April showers bring Mayflowers. That's true. And you know what Mayflowers bring? There's actually two answers to that. Either bring June bugs or sometimes it brings pilgrims. That's right. I'm here all week. Yeah, if I were ever, I mean, I'm trying to stay away from San Francisco now, so that's true. I do need a rim shot machine. That's true. But bump. Yep, that's my rim shot machine. Hey, Connie. Yeah, I had an opportunity when I was visiting my sister. Probably I don't know 10 or 15 years ago. Um, the family was talking about maybe going to San Francisco, and I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. And then at the end, people started, thinking otherwise, and they came to me and says, yeah, I don't know, we don't really know if we really want to go. So I don't really want to go, and that was then. It's only gotten worse since then. I mean, the problems in San Francisco weren't nearly as bad in Orange County, California, but that was what made me leave the state. One of many things. Yeah. Well, I escaped from Southern California, definitely. Steak kebabs, you can't go wrong with that. I look forward to the day where my sister and her husband do what they say they're going to do and leave California and go to Montana. Then I'll never have a reason to go there again. I mean, I even found out a couple of weeks ago that a friend of mine from California, his son got married in Houston a couple of weeks ago, and they're going to live here and well in Houston, and my friend's moving to Houston too. So it'll be good to see him occasionally. It's a few hundred miles away, but that's doable. I just got to get the rest of my friends to realize that that place is, it's done. Hey, Roberta. I didn't really have to answer that many questions. I was asked by the realtor to edit one of my vlogs as a result of selling the house, because in one of the vlogs I did when I was selling the house, I said something where I mentioned that it seemed that the builders used the cheapest possible materials possible when they built my house, and the realtor asked me to remove that, so I ended up editing that chunk of the vlog. I haven't been to Santa Monica in a long time, but that's crazy that businesses are going out. But I don't doubt that either. Santa Monica is a very, very blue part of the state. Yeah, I know they're paying like $6 a gallon for gas right now. That's insane. And I mean, I remember when I drove to California a couple years ago. Um, when I crossed over the border from Arizona into California, the gas prices went up like $2. There was an HOA in my house in California, and I was on the architectural committee because I basically that was the people that approved all modifications to the house and stuff like that. I did it for one reason. I wanted to kind of be able to keep my hand on the wheel a little bit, but I also did it because I was hoping that maybe I'd be able to get my project through. Well, it turns out it made it more complicated because I couldn't be part of the decision uh, making process, so the team had to meet separately without me there. Well, there's a whole bunch of reasons, but yeah, I think theft is part of it. There's a lot of areas that won't prosecute if it's less than $1,000. And so what ends up happening? Somebody goes in there, steals $999 worth of stuff, and then goes somewhere else and steals another $999. And yeah, I don't know. This is that redistribution that they're talking about. Oh yeah, you remember the Nevermore Monsters clock? Yeah, rules and regulations and taxes and stuff like that. It's all the same. It's different sides of the same coin. Yeah, the HOA fees at the place I was at, it was a little over $100. It was reasonable. And basically, for that, we got the pool and the rec room, and there's a little gym on property, and they took care of all of the the front yards, because the front yard, since it was an HOA, it was it was technically a condominium, but it was a detached condominium, and so the front yard was entirely the responsibility of the HOA, and the backyard was what you could do. That was also one of the things I like about this place is I'm in control of the front and the backyard, and so it's up to me how things look. One of the things I think you run into when you have an HOA that does all of the gardening in the front is every house looks the same. It's got a neatly trimmed hedge against the wall. It's got a tree in front of it, and it gets boring. Hey Dot, how are you? It's crazy that we even have to pass anti-squatter laws, but there's states right now that if somebody takes over your house, you can't do anything. The police won't do anything for you. There's nothing you can do. You're just out of luck because of the way the law is written. But if you try to reoccupy your own house and as a squatter, the police will be there to pick you up in a second. But Florida and Texas and a few other states are cracking down on that. That's true, Gene. It's interesting. Every time I turn around, though, I'm hearing about someone else that I know that gave up on California and went to another state. A guy I used to know in the parades department at Disneyland ended up here in Waco of all places. I guess his daughter owns I don't know, some sort of a dress shop or something like that in Crawford, and so he moved to Waco to be with them. And then of course another friend of mine from Disneyland moved to what, Mississippi or something like that. It's just all these people I know that came from California that are here or somewhere else, that left the state. And I think I've told you before. One of my neighbors in my community in California, he lived across the street and a couple houses down. Um, we talked a few times, and I know he moved to Texas a few years before I did. Yeah, exactly. Dirty Harry. That's who we need right now is Dirty Harry. Well, a lot of times when you finally get them out of the house, then they've trashed the place. Well, they are overdue for the big one. He was governor, or not governor. He was mayor of oh, what was the town? I don't remember. For a few years. Carmel. That's right. That was what it was. I knew somebody would figure that out and remember what I'm talking about. That's why I feel comfortable pondering things like this when I don't know the answer, because I know somebody will. Yeah, Carmel is a nice place. I've been there once or twice. Yeah, there was so much potential for Arnold as governor, but he squandered it. There really are two types of ex-Disney employees. There's the ones who just well do two types of Disney employees. The ones that love that place and worship that place and can't get enough of that place. And then there's the rest of us who's like it's a job and we never got the respect that we deserved and all that. I know, and I'm the latter, of course, unfortunately. I guess when you're really, really, really into the place, you can ignore the fact that management treats you like garbage. I'd go to a garlic festival, definitely. Well, I mean, if Eastwood ran as governor, if he ran as a Democrat, it would probably be a benefit. I mean, let's face it, we got Joe Biden, we got John Fetterman. Feinstein was basically almost just in a vegetative state when she died, but they never uh, they never removed her from office. They just wheel in the next radical. Yeah, I don't even follow what's going on in California anymore. I don't care. They're going down. It's just a matter of time. I do believe that Walt, if Walt's looking down on us, he's wondering, what did you do to my vision? Yeah, I'm really, really happy. I like the people I work with. I've told you before that told you the story about um, the thing that happened about a year ago at work, where the company, like 3 or 4 years ago, when COVID was going on, they bought a whole bunch of like supplies that we need to do our business on the thought that the supply chains might break down, which they did, which was a good thing. And then they left them in the warehouse and forgot that it was there until about a year ago. And I basically, was told about this, and I kind of took over the project and made sure that we could get a lot of that stuff, used up before it expired. And probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, I got called into the general manager's office. So that's like my boss's 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 boss. The guy who's in charge of the whole facility. And he wanted to thank me for that. And last week, I guess they did a video conference with that included the CEO of the whole company, and this this guy who is my boss's 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 boss, whoever he is, way up there. He actually talked about that and credited me with saving the company $250,000. So that was pretty cool. Had a bunch of management types coming up to me all this past week, thanking me. People I don't even know who they are, thanking me for what I did. So that's pretty cool. I think I'm on good terms. Put it that way. I was really happy that that the company allowed me the freedom to choose to pursue something like that and run with it, because my original instruction at the time, I was the one that was ordering supplies just for my department. And so uh, a manager came up to me and says, hey, here's a list of stuff that's in the warehouse, can we use any of this in our department? And I went and looked, and it took me like 10 minutes to realize is that, yeah, we can use a lot of this, but there's more stuff out here than we could use, in 50 years. And I said, the only way we're going to get rid of this before it expires is if we can get it down on the ground, because it was up on big high shelves in the warehouse, and most of the company couldn't even get access to that stuff. And so we were never going to get rid of it if it was up in a warehouse and nobody could do it. So I just said, we got to get this stuff down on the ground so people can just come and pick it up. And I talked to that manager guy, and he arranged for me to have a place in the building where we could put that stuff. And I just started organizing it, bringing it down, and I'll tell you, I had a big smile on my face every time I'd see somebody walk down the hall with a big cart of supplies on there. It's like, yes, they're doing good. And so, yeah, that really looks good for me. I used to take a little crap from the other lead that I worked on, that I worked with, because she would look at this and say, yeah, that's your old job. You really shouldn't be doing that anymore. Your job now is your new job. And she doesn't give me any crap about that anymore, because when you get the big boss, you know, telling the big boss what you've done, that kind of gets people's attention. And actually, I stopped getting crap from her when I met with that boss's boss guy, because she knew I did that, and she thought to herself, was like, geez, I've never been called to his office. So that was kind of funny. No, I don't think that had a whole lot to do with the promotion, because actually my direct boss didn't really know a whole bunch about that, because that was sort of above him. And it was something that when I was doing a material handler, as long as I kept up with what I had to do, I could do other things on the side and didn't really have an issue with that. So, yeah, my boss didn't really know that much about that. I don't know how much he even knows about it now, but no, I got that position because, my boss thought I was the person for the job. I was kind of next in line because, the company has leads and they have backup leads. And I was a backup lead, and I'd been sort of training on that for like a year before that. And so when this position came up, it was pretty much mine. So when I'm going to marry into the manager's family, I don't know. Yeah, I haven't even gone near Los Angeles since I don't know, for a long time. I think probably the last time I got anywhere near Los Angeles. Well, I guess, yeah, see, I didn't even really get near it then. I mean, we drove past it when we went up north after my mom's funeral. But in terms of actually being in Los Angeles, it's been years, probably back before my dad died. Because when he was in his final year, he was in the hospital a lot. So, I went out there. You watch the videos, 7 or 8 times in a year, in his final year. And some of those days, I would like go visit Jordan and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a decent little chunk of cash. I saved them. it's funny, about 4 months after I started really, putting stuff on the ground, I started actually tracking how much stuff we'd, gotten. And I had a spreadsheet that I made that dated, or clocked how much we'd saved in, from when I started accounting for it. And I hit the 200,000 mark a while ago. And, it was well above that too, because I want to, I was, there was stuff that was being used before I really started tracking it. So many years before I retire, I don't know. I don't have any set date at this point. I don't feel myself slowing down. No, actually, she's kind of had to tone it down a little bit because if there's nothing that could happen at this point because I'm her lead. I'm her superior as far as the company. So that there wouldn't be allowed. I wouldn't be allowed to have any kind of fraternization. If it was going to happen, she'd have to leave the department. And I'm not even telling her about my inheritance. I want to hear a joke, Darth. Let us hear a joke. Another lull in the conversation here. Clouds are starting to blow over here. What was Mr. Peanut's last words? I'll be back in a jiffy. Uh, Had some nice rain come through here this morning. It really has. Yeah, that was the best thing in the world. Um, me coming, getting out of California and coming here because everything really turned around. What did Kermit say after Jim Henson died? Nothing. That's true. Yeah, I mowed the lawn a couple weeks ago. Probably won't do it today because, like I said, we had about 2 inches of rain this morning, so the lawn will be really wet, and that'll be a mess. So we'll give it a day or two. It's actually I always am amazed how much the lawn comes back every year because it turns completely brown in the winter, but it's almost completely green now again. The well, if you saw the thumbnail picture, that's the hydrangeas and other things I put in that back corner of the yard a few weeks ago, and the plants in the front yard are doing well. In fact, I was looking at that whole area was flooded this morning when with the rain. Like I said, we got a lot of rain in a very short period of time, but everything seems to be doing well out there. I've got a good drink, that much is sure. The tomatoes are doing good. I don't know what's going to happen with the strawberries. They don't seem to be doing a whole lot, but who knows? We'll let them go, and if they don't work, then we'll try something else next year. They aren't sprouting yet, but the tomatoes are starting to climb up those trellises. So I'm looking forward to getting them up there and hopefully get some tomatoes out of them. But the tomato plants are probably about that tall when I put them in the ground. They're probably, most of them are probably, 14, 16 inches tall, and they're all doing very, very well. So hopefully we're gonna get a bumper crop of tomatoes this year. It would depend. I mean, I think the only kind of melon that I really like is watermelon. I'm not into cantaloupe. I'm not into honeydew. Just not really into those. If you remember, I had pumpkins growing in the yard when I moved here. I don't know about any of my direct neighbors. I haven't seen any evidence of gardens, but that's okay. Can't plant until Memorial Day. Yeah, see, we're over the possibility of any kind of freezing weather at this point. It's starting to warm up. It's pretty much in the 80s every day right now. I don't know. Two of the three berry plants are they're still alive, but they're not growing very much. We'll have to see what happens when it starts getting sunnier. I don't know about the third one. Yeah, I mean, it would be fun to have watermelons. I love watermelon. Yeah, yeah. Charlotte and Logan do have some good jokes. And I think it's just their reaction to some of the things I say too. Because I remember there was one of Logan's joke was, "Want to hear a dirty joke? A white dog fell in the mud," and that was Logan's joke. And then I kept repeating it over and over again, and every time Rhonda would reply back that, "Oh yeah, Logan's rolling on the ground laughing right now." How's Nibble? Nibble's doing good. Neither of them like the thunder, and so neither of them were very happy this morning because there was a lot of lightning and thunder. And what they do, if it's a little bit of lightning and thunder, they'll go into their cat carriers, which is in their room. And if it's a lot of lightning and thunder, they'll go into the bathroom and get into the bathtub. So I can't find them. That's usually where they are. All right, one down. No, I do bottled water. I don't use I don't get the individual bottles, so I get like a big 2.5 gallon jugs, and I just keep the jug in the fridge. And when I need water, just pull out a glass. What's my favorite pizza place? There was that place that I went to. What was it called? I did it about a year ago. That let's see. Let me go look at the map here. Refresh my memory what it's called here. I know where it is, so I can track it down pretty easily here. Let's see. It was Okay, it wasn't that far. We on 6th. Yeah, it's off of Waco. Slow Rise Pizza, that's it. That's pretty good. That was a very delicious pizza. And there was that pizza I ordered from, I think, Mario's or something like that, that I actually had it delivered to the house, and that was pretty good. And there was a place down near the river called 900 Degrees Pizza where they cooked everything like in a stone oven, and that was a good pizza too. But they went out of business, so no, it hasn't been hot enough to miss the pool yet. In fact, I really got to get that liner out of there because when it rains, that leaves water in there, and then the mosquitoes start going crazy. Yeah, kind of hard to compete with that, isn't it? In terms of pizza, I'm a pepperoni pizza. That's the best thing in the world. You know, anything else? I mean, sometimes I'll put sausage or ham or stuff like that, but you can't beat a pepperoni pizza. It doesn't get any better than that. Yeah, I don't. I haven't really gone out and done fast food a whole lot. In fact, when I was in California for the funeral, uh, I went to Carl's Jr. because I hadn't been to a Carl's Jr. in a long time, and I love their Western bacon cheeseburgers. And it turned out there was one that was just right down the street from where the hotel was. So I just walked there and got some dinner, and I paid like $20 for a hamburger, fries, and a drink. That was insane. Domino's was pretty good at one point. I've tried Papa John's. That's all right. And I remember Pizza Hut. I mean, that was the greatest thing in the world. Yeah, I'm still walking around at night. I didn't go last night because they were saying it might rain. Actually, it didn't rain until this morning. Then we had a weird windstorm. You want to see that? I went out with a camera and shot this. This is going to be the first time I've ever tried cutting away to a video. So let's see if this even works. Should be able to just do the entire screen. And we're going to switch to that. Just check out the branches though, how it's blowing. This was like an hour ago. I was convinced some of these tree branches were going to come down. This is a tree out in the backyard by the pool, so that might have changed the whole argument about the pool if this tree came down. Look at that! Look at that window. I mean, I assume you can see that. Maybe not. I don't know. Are you even seeing that? Oh, I didn't even. See, okay, I forgot to push one of the buttons here, so we'll try it again here. Start over here. The wind was really blowing. I mean, these branches that you're looking at here that are wobbling back and forth, those things are 12, 14 inches in diameter. And so it was really blowing. I was actually a little nervous of being underneath this tree. And of course, the wind was coming from behind the tree. So if it did come down, it would come down right on top of me where I was standing. So I was thinking about that while I was doing that too. So I'll probably put that in a vlog at some point. Oh, I do have a store brand that I like that I buy all the time. Let's see. Let's see if I can remember what it's called. I think I have one in the freezer, but they are really, really good. Yeah, I found one. This is the pizza that I really like, the City Pizza Company. I used to do what was the other one? DiGiorno. They had the rising crust. This thing, these blow those out of the water. These are really good. I discovered these, and they're really a tasty pizza. I'll often augment it a little bit with pepperoni or crushed red pepper or something, or not pepperoni. It comes with pepperoni, but like with jalapenos or crushed red pepper or something like that. But yeah, you get a chance and can try these things out. These things are amazing. I'm gonna go put it back in the freezer though, so it doesn't thaw out. All right, I'll come back to you. All right, let's resume here. Pull everything back into position. Back into live streaming mode. I was actually, in terms of that video of the wind blowing the trees, I was more concerned about the pecan trees in the front yard because they tend to have very soft and very brittle wood. And I don't remember the wind blowing like this anytime I've been here. And so I was concerned one of those might come down. Yeah, you forget, Dot, that that I can still see your comments when I come back. I don't think I've ever tried Chicago pizza brand. I just discovered these things at HEB, and I said, you know what, I want to try something. The pizza looks good. Often the picture they have on the box though doesn't match what's inside. Yeah, definitely try the that pizza because those are really good. See, I like the flavor of the crust on this. That's part of it. The crust is really really tasty. Did you get a free gun in the box? No, not so far. I mean, maybe they don't put it in every box. Wouldn't it be cool if it was like a Cracker Jack where you have free supply or free surprise inside? You pull out and it was a gun. That would be a good surprise. A gun covered in pepperoni. Actually, let's take that a step further. A pepperoni gun. Now we're talking. Now we're on to something here. Brainstorming next big thing here. A pepperoni gun. Mmm. It's not a stuffed crust. It's a very bready crust with like garlic flavor on it. So it's really good. My parents are Minnesotans. I don't really remember any pizza places being just amazingly good. Um, but I never really was one for ordering a pizza either. I didn't do that a whole lot. Sometimes, that was one of those things you do if you're going over, and helping a friend move. They order pizzas and stuff like that. But in terms of like going to a gourmet pizza place, I can't think of ever having done that in California. In fact, I probably wouldn't have done it here, but for the fact that I was doing vlogs and vlogging some of that stuff. See, the vlog that's what's made the vlogging really, you know, kind of interesting is it's encouraged me to do some of those things. I wouldn't know half of what I know about Waco if I wasn't vlogging, having to go find out things. 50-50 partner, Dot. Haven't added anything to the crystal collection yet, but there's a big rock and mineral show next weekend at the Lee Lockwood Museum in downtown Waco. And I'm going to go to that. So I'm kind of holding off buying anything because I want to save up and get some nice stuff. So yeah, well, I'll take you along to the show next week, and you'll see what I get. Actually, I just heard yesterday there's a Comic Con in Waco, so I'm going to probably try and do that today. Yeah, well, that's it. The only two things I knew about Waco when I came here was the Branch Davidians and Chip and Joanna Gaines. But I mean, some of the good parts of the town, some of the bad parts of the town. The history of it. And I love having the Waco Bridge here. Um, I've enjoyed telling stories about the tornado in 54, and the gang war that took place at that Twin Peaks place. The lynching of Jesse Washington, the gunfight between the judge and the newspaper editor. This place has just got a lot of really fun history. Dr. Pepper. I'm not even a Dr. Pepper fan, but it's cool that it's here, that it was first served here, and I've been to the place where it was first served. Yeah, there was that big EF5 tornado that went through in 1954. I commemorated the 70th anniversary earlier this year of that. No, I spent most of my life too close to a big city. I'm very, very happy here. There's just everything I need is here or relatively easily accessible. I like the people. You know, the beauty of Waco is it's small enough that it kind of has a small town feel, but it's big enough that it has everything you need. I know I've said that before too. Okay, so Jeff can't hear us, so I'm gonna talk to him because I know he can read. I haven't really thought about camping. That would be fun to do. I mean, I loved going camping. You know, when there was someone to go with. I think that was the big thing. I don't know if it's as big a thing. You know, if it's just me, but who knows? You know, and spring would really be the time to go. You wouldn't want to go in the winter, obviously. You wouldn't want to go in the summer where, you know, it's really, really hot. But spring or fall, when it's just kind of starting to cool off a little bit, would be kind of fun. And before the ants come out, oh yeah, and before the mosquitoes come out too, exactly. I have everything I would need to go camping. I have a tent, I have a sleeping bag, I have a cooking stove, I have a lantern, you know, everything I'd need. Haven't seen any grizzlies. I haven't heard a whole lot about bears in Texas. I've heard a lot of people say Big Bend is probably the one of the coolest things about you know, to see in Texas. So it might be one of those things I have to check out. It's a long ways away, but you know, that's maybe something I could do on a long week or something like that. Even take a few days off of work and do that. Wouldn't feel comfortable camping where there's bears. I've seen too many movies. I used to when I was a kid, I was in the Boy Scouts, and the place we went to summer camp every year, there were bears around there, but they tend to stay away from people. Never seen any cocaine bears. All right, we're gonna lose Jeff to pasta. I guess that was gonna happen. I think really the only way to do it. I mean, you could email it to me, Roberta, or if you're on the Facebook page, you can put it on there. Just give the bears some weed. Yeah, last thing you want to do is encounter a bear on cocaine. That's probably not going to be a pretty sight. I think the closest thing that we have to anything that could be called a forest would be like in Cameron Park, and I've been through there a bunch of times. In fact, that last video I did, at the Jacob's Ladder and Miss Nellie's Pretty Place, that was a part of Cameron Park. And then, of course, there's that kind of wooded area down by Lake Waco too. I guess they call it Lakeside Park now. I have fishing equipment. I've been fishing. I haven't been fishing in a long time. That's another one of those things like camping. I kind of like doing with somebody else. That would be a fun meetup to get going somewhere, get people to come down and go camping somewhere. That would be a trip, right? Wonder how many people would actually do that and just rent a camping some camping spots. And well, there aren't really any forests in Waco because that's generally a little higher elevation kind of stuff. Here you get the forests. Come on, Black Dot. I've told you my address many times. It's 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Ask for Brandon. I mean, I guess I think of, the woods as an area where there's a bunch of trees, and we have a lot of that around here. That was one of the things I think that really attracted me to the area. I've thought maybe renting an RV if I go do, like a travel vlog, if I go to like some national parks or something like that. But, if I'm going to go camping, I'm going camping. Camping doesn't mean, even though they call it a camper, camping me is a tent and sleeping bag and bring the moonshine. Yeah, well, we do have that. We do have that place that sells it. I have fishing equipment, but I haven't used it in a long time. Most of it is my dad's stuff. If I were to get serious about it, though, I'd probably get new stuff. There's all sorts of like sporting goods stores, around here that sell that kind of stuff. Sometime my dad, see, my definition of camping, like I said, is a tent. And my parents were never really into, well, my mom especially wasn't really into that kind of thing. And so we didn't really do a whole lot of that. However, some friends that I grew up with did. And so I used to, and my friend Matt, who does Island Horizon videos, which I always have playing in the background. He and his wife uh, was a part of a family that was family friend from when I was young. Her parents were my godparents. My parents were her younger sister's godparents. It was we were very close very early on, and they loved camping. And so my parents would tag along sometimes, but they were never really as into it as I am. So even when we got older, and my friend Susan and Matt would go camping, I'd go with them, and we had fun doing that. But yeah, I like camping, but I like camping with people. If I'm going to go somewhere, I want to be there with friends and stuff like that. A couple of years ago, before I moved here, I used to I was taking some geology classes, and a couple of times we had like field trips, and we'd go camp out in some interesting geological area and spend the night there, and the next day we'd go tour the area and look at some of the fun things that were there. I don't know if they stock. I know I see people out there fishing, but I don't know if they stock the lake or not. Yeah, Lindex. I was a scout. I was an Eagle Scout. Did you send the picture? What, to the Facebook page? Let's see this. No, my sister isn't really an outdoorsy person. I'm more outdoorsy than she is. Oh wow, there it is. That's beautiful. I think it looks like some piece of quartz. Since I can cut away now into onto this, let's go look at that because I can pull it up here and show you what Roberta just sent here. Let's spend a second here getting to the page so we don't have to that. That's what we want to see. That's beautiful, Roberta. Okay, let's cut away so I can show you that here. All right, here we go. Yeah, that's the picture that Roberta just sent me. Like I said, that's some sort of quartz. It's a very, 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 very clean piece of quartz. A lot of time quartz is kind of cloudy, but I got something like that too. I've shown you guys this before too here. But yeah, that's a really pretty piece, Roberta. No, it isn't a quartz. It's not a corpse. It's a quartz. But see, I got a very kind of clear piece of quartz too. And I like that. That's a pretty piece. I got that on a little stand with a light. It's kind of cool because it's got all the stuff on the bottom on one side of it. Yeah, it's a quartz crystal. They got those, right? That's what this is. It's a quartz crystal. Yeah, I got to be really careful giving them out of my address. That's the only problem, Roberta, because I would love to have that in my collection. That is a beautiful piece. Did you find that? You want to give away something that was part of an inheritance? My mom was actually, I think, born in Wisconsin or Michigan. I think Michigan, and then they moved to Minnesota early on. My dad grew up in the Twin Cities area. When my mom lived, she was in some small towns in kind of northern Minnesota, kind of near Lake Superior. I don't know, maybe it wouldn't be the best thing to send that to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Roberta. Who knows what Hunter might think it is? Thanks for stopping in, Dot. Always great having you here. I very much like it, Roberta. I just don't know how to get it here without creating issues. I wish there was like some way they could get set up something like that. But I don't know. I'll think about it. I've had concerns about a PO box because the problem is, you know, it might, not necessarily you, but you get somebody that all of a sudden just starts sending a bunch of stuff to you. And this is one of those things I kind of learned from watching Jordan, because Jordan never really got to the point where he would, accept gifts from fans. Uh, and now he's a lot bigger than I am, and uh, that's an issue with him because, the problem you run into, and I haven't really talked to him about that, but it wasn't, the problem is, if you even have like one person in 1,000, and you have, where's Jordan? Jordan's about 300,000 subscribers right now. So one person in 1,000, that's 300 things that he has to come over. Now, granted, I'm not I'm not 300,000 subscribers, but that's, sort of the issue. And I kind of learned a lot of what I do from, uh, just watching him and advice I get from him. Although, like I said, it probably is different for me. I could probably, because I mean, I only have, you know, a few fans that would probably do something about that. Let me think about it for a little while, Roberta. Bring it up again, and I'll try and see maybe if we can do something because I would love to have that. It is a beautiful piece. Yeah, I don't know specifically what type of crystal it is, but it's got to be some form of quartz. I'll bring it down to if I do figure out a way to get it, I'd bring it down to the rock shop and have them identify it. Can you take something for wind? Only the breaking kind. I love it when when there's weather extremes going on. You know, that's just something I love watching. You know, extreme weather, primarily because I think a lot doesn't. You know, that didn't happen a lot in California. Yeah, we had Santa Ana winds, and they were kind of fun. You know, I love being outside in a Santa Ana wind, like at night, 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, just sitting out there enjoying the evening. Yeah, well, let me think about it for a little while, Roberta. You know, it would be really cool to have that. And then I guess the beauty with a PO box is if it got too much, I could just cancel it. But yeah, give me a little time to think about that, and we'll see. Oops. In the meantime, I got to learn to stop punching my laptop. Yeah, that's it. We'll do the camping meetup and go from there. Yeah, we haven't had a real an authentic troll in here for a while. I think they got bored with us. And I honestly think it's because I always harass them right back. You know, I can't speak for, well, I mean, I know what Jordan does because I've seen Jordan deal with it. He doesn't tolerate trolls at all. He just blocks them immediately. You know, I'll block them and then I'll spend the next 10 minutes insulting them. And I think maybe I've hurt their ego a little bit. That might be it too, John. I'm just too boring for them. Not big enough. These idiots like to build themselves up by being a jerk in front of hundreds of people. Well, there aren't hundreds of people here. Maybe it's not worth the trouble. This is just a kind of a small family here. Yeah, see, that's another thing I don't miss in California is earthquakes. Earthquakes are fascinating to me, and I still look at earthquake activity every day. You know, when I get up in the morning and when I'm kind of getting ready. But it's much more interesting to read about them from 1,500 miles away than to actually be in one. Yeah, you wouldn't want to chop that thing up. That thing's beautiful the way it is. Little ones are little earthquakes happen every day. I mean, here let's pull up the earthquake map of Southern California here. Hang on a second. Yeah, there. Okay. I like being able to pop out of the live stream and do this kind of thing here. Okay. Yeah. See, this is Southern California here, and so all those dots that you're seeing on there, those are earthquakes, and the red lines you're seeing, those are earthquake faults. So we got that big red line kind of going along here. I don't know if you can see the mouse, but that's the San Andreas fault. And you remember when I talked about that big earthquake that happened like 4 years ago, and I did a vlog on it? They're still having aftershocks. All this stuff in the center of the screen, that's still aftershocks. 4 years later, uh, that big earthquake that they had in Central California. So yeah, a lot of earthquakes. They happen every day. The yellow ones are ones that have happened in the last week. The orange ones are the ones that have happened in the last 24 hours. And then you see this one down on the California-Mexico border that's red. That's happened in the last hour. Looks like they're having a weird little earthquake cluster there too. That's weird. Because the top five, the most five recent earthquakes have all happened in this one area, all just right on top of each other. Let's zoom in on this. Yeah, see, there's several of them here that have happened in the last hour, right on the Mexican border there. Funky little cluster. They say when you get something like that, sometimes it's just something shifting, but it can also be a precursor to something bigger. They say there's like a 5% chance that if you have a medium-sized earthquake in California, that it's actually a pre-shock to something coming later on, to something bigger. But yeah, there's California and Southern California and all the earthquakes. We get a few of them here in Texas, but it's mostly on the west side of the state where they're doing all the drilling. Yeah, see, if you live in Guadalupe, Texas, that's not where you want to be. Van Horn, Pecos, Texas, right on the Oklahoma border. Actually, that's New Mexico, isn't it? Never mind. But yeah, back to me here. Let's see. Yeah. That's been a website I've gone to a bunch of times, Jeans, because it updates within a couple of minutes. So if I feel a shaker, I'll get up, I'll go to that site, and I'll keep refreshing until until it shows up, and then I know within minutes. Yeah, see, it'd be nice if they did something like that, Tracy. I mean, the closest thing you're talking about is a PO box, and like I said, I've never had one, but I'm going to seriously think about it. It's maybe something safe to do, and maybe it's not something that go public with. It'd just be on a case by case basis. So send Roberta an email with the PO box or something like that. Yeah, they're overdue for the big one in California. Well, the cool thing also about that earthquake thing is you can go the entire planet and see earthquakes. So, for instance, I can zoom way out and you can see all the earthquakes around the world. But yeah, look at some of these here. Off the coast of Japan. They have much larger earthquakes here. Let's sort this by largest first. So yeah, there's one, that one right there that turned blue. That one happened yesterday, and that was a 6.5 on the Richter scale. But I mean, you can see where the danger is here too, because you see this fault here going down here. This is what they call a subduction fault. In fact, you can see where the mouse is pointing there. You see it says Mariana Trench. That's the deepest spot on Earth. And those subduction faults, they generally trigger the biggest earthquakes. So that's why you got this one here along Japan. Why Japan always has problems. You go up here, you go over to Alaska, you get a trench here, and of course they have big ones there. And over here in Indonesia, they've had their share of of one because there's another trench right there. In fact, there was a big earthquake that happened in this place on Christmas Eve, probably 10, 15 years ago, that sent a tsunami. It was a very famous earthquake because it basically wiped out this section of, uh, of Indonesia and Malaysia, Sumatra, actually, what they call it. And this little area right here, up here on the tip, that's Banda Aceh. That was the place that got the worst of it because the tsunami basically just wiped that place off the map. Right there in the middle, Banda Aceh. And like I said, this is a quake that happened. I think it was, in the 8.0 magnitude, something like that. And the shaking went for like 5 minutes because what ends up happening is it breaks in one place and then the fault just unzips like a zipper. And so it'll start with a little bit of rumbling as it gets closer and closer to you, it gets more and more powerful. And then, 2.5 minutes in, it'll get real powerful, and then it'll kind of fizzle out as the fault unzips and moves away. So those are definitely the most dangerous kinds of places to be in an earthquake, especially on Christmas Eve, right? San Andreas Fault is the one that goes through California, and that's a different kind of fault. So it's capable of producing big earthquakes, but not that big of an earthquake. See, there's three kinds of faults in the world. There's transform plate boundaries where the plates kind of rub against each other like this. That's what San Andreas Fault is. And then there's what is it? Divergent plate boundaries where the plates come apart, and that's like the mid-oceanic ridge where the plates are moving apart from each other. Those create earthquakes, but not that much. And then there's the subduction faults, and what that is the plates have collided with each other, and one plate has gone under the other. And so what ends up happening is the plate that's going under pulls the one on top down like this, and then eventually the pressure builds up and it snaps, and that's when you have those big, massive earthquakes. It's not an app; it's a website. It's done by the USGS, um, and I think just go to earthquake.usgs.gov, and that should take you there. Let's see here. I want to see where I'm leading people here before I tell you to try that. Okay, so that leads you to their front page. Get that out of the way. And then you can scroll down, you can find the map. So yeah, www.usgs.gov. That's what you want to check out. Yeah, there's let's see, what do they say on here? There's usually somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,000 earthquakes a week. Let's see, what's the total number here? Oops, that's a hurricane center. Never mind, that wasn't what I want. I want this. Let's look at the whole world here. So yeah, there's 2,105 earthquakes on the map in the world right now. So lots of they're very frequent. They're usually very, very small. Most of them are twos and threes at the most. Well, you know how this works, Brad. We just I go where the conversation takes me. So if someone starts talking about earthquakes, we'll talk about earthquakes. And somebody just asked, how common are they and how often do they happen? Yeah, I think I prefer tornadoes over earthquakes because at least with tornadoes, they're coming. I know it's amazing. No Rhonda and this live stream has actually been all right. Apparently, they said that a storm that came through here a couple. We when I was at work. I guess on Friday there was a storm that came through Waco, and we had a severe storm warning alert alarm. We had everybody out in the hall taking refuge against one of the reinforced walls. I remember hearing in the news that morning and kind of watching the storm come in a few hours before that there was a possibility that there was coming. So when the storm alarm went off, it's like, oh, here we go. And apparently, there was a very strong storm that came through Waco, and it got very close to the place, but it didn't actually drop any rain or anything like that. But apparently, I heard someone say that there were a couple of small tornadoes that hit Waco Airport, which is kind of on the northwest side of town. So, and that was right in the middle of where it was supposed to be really powerful. Where the worst of the storm was. Ever want to be a geologist? I mean, I like geology. I've taken some geology classes. I did pretty well. I had fun with it, but I like, um, I like being just kind of an amateur. Would a large earthquake crack away California into the sea? No, because in reality, everything on the west side of the fault, which is Los Angeles, San Diego, all the way up until about San Francisco, when the fault goes out into the ocean, um, all of that actually is the ocean. That's the Pacific Plate. So the Pacific Plate goes from Southern California. Here, we'll go back to, I keep jumping out of the picture of you having to look at my ugly mug here. Close that. Okay, let's jump to this here. It's cool that I can do this. This was a very neat feature that YouTube added. So we got this earthquake fault goes all the way around here. You probably heard it referred to as the Ring of Fire. Yeah. So this whole section here in the middle, that's the entire Pacific Ocean going all the way over to Japan and then coming down along the Solomons and Fiji and Samoa. That's the Pacific Plate. And so that's what California is on. And if you look, we'll zoom in here on California, you can see that the plate comes right up the Gulf of California through Mexico and goes up the state. So everything on this side, on the ocean side, which is San Diego, Los Angeles, San Jose, all of that, that's all on the Pacific Plate. So if there were an earthquake, it's not going to fall into the ocean because it is the ocean. Everything to the west of the line is the North American Plate. So no, California is never going to fall into the ocean. We're going to have to figure out another way to solve that problem. Yeah, no, I don't think that that's a possibility. And if it did, it's going to be more than California has a problem. Was that a thunderclap? We have more rain coming in. I think I just heard some thunder. Let's check here, see what's going on. Oh yeah, here it comes again. I love Texas. Get it in the middle there so you can see it. Yeah, we got another storm coming in. I thought I heard some thunder. That doesn't look like a very powerful one. It looks like it'll blow through pretty quick. Maybe we'll withhold the ending of the live stream a little bit and let you experience a part of that. Yeah, that 1906 earthquake did a lot of damage. There was also that one in 1964 in Alaska that just literally destroyed Anchorage. And of course, there was that one that they call, what do they call it? Loma Prieta. That was the one about 20, 25 years ago that interrupted the World Series in San Francisco. I personally have been through three big ones and probably, hundreds of them that I could feel. I remember Northridge. Northridge was the one where that apartment complex collapsed, killed a bunch of people. Yeah, there's some more thunder again. I don't know if you heard that. Let's see, we're getting, what's lightning doing? Is lightning, I got an app for that too. Yeah, I'm a nerd. Oh, yeah. Lots of lightning strikes with this one, so we're going to maybe hear some thunder. Was it 35 years ago? Okay. Yeah, it was a long time ago. Yeah, a lot of lightning here. Like I said, that's what woke me up this morning was the thunder coming in. I don't think it's enough yet that Bite's probably that aware of it, but he's been a little freaked out because we got some really good thunder cracks here this morning. So he may still be in hiding from that. It's getting dark out again now. Yeah, I can hear a little thunder. I don't think the rain started yet, but Bite and Nibble are definitely not fans of the lightning and thunder. Not fans at all. Like I said earlier in the live stream, when you start getting a little bit, then they'll go into their cat carriers, which are kind of in one corner of their bedroom. I actually like the fact they take refuge in that because if there's a play, if there at any points that I need to go into the storm shelter, they're a heck of a lot easier if they're already in the cat carrier. But if they get really bad, then they get scared, they get afraid, and they go into the bathtub. I think it's probably the noise and the vibration because the house shakes when you get a real one. Yeah, I remember the freeway collapse too. So yeah, the big ones I've been a part of were Northridge, like I said. There was what was it called? Well, there was what was Silmar, which was in the 70s, and there was also I don't remember what the other one was called. Yeah, I think we're gonna get a little rain. I don't see any rain yet, but it's coming. We're gonna be right on the edge of it too. Yeah, we're just getting to the edge of it. I'm gonna extend the end of the live stream. We're gonna go another 20 minutes or so. Let you experience the storm. If I ever got a chance to go with a storm chaser, I would definitely do it. Yeah, yeah. Sound travels at about 1,100 feet per second. So what you do is you start counting, um, seconds from when you see the flash, and take the number of seconds it is divided by five, and that's about how far away it is in miles. So you see the flash, you count 5 seconds, and you hear the thunder. Then that one's about a mile away. Yeah, I have a copy of the movie Twister. Yeah, that probably what started my interest in it. But I liked, too, was Wizard of Oz. But and I mean that's actually a that tornado in that movie is actually a pretty good effect for a movie that was 100 years old. I remember I was visiting my grandparents in Minnesota, and there was a park that my grandmother loved, and we went there a whole bunch of times because like a social club that she was a part of had contributed part of an arboretum in there, and one of the times we went through there, um, a tornado had gone through there just the night before and knocked a bunch of trees over. Yeah, yeah, it's gotten cloudy. It's gotten a little darker out. That usually comes with a storm. I'm going to open up the window and behind us here so that we can hear it when it comes in. And I'll be able to tell when it starts. I'll open up the window in the kitchen and also this one over here. All right, that one's open. We got this one. Yeah, there's some more thunder. We're gonna let the thunder in. It's also nice and cool out outside, so it'll let a little of that cool air in. Keep the house comfortable for free, right? Let nature do the work. All right, here we are again. We're ready for the storm. Yeah, Joplin got hit. That was Joplin, Missouri. I think got pounded by a tornado a few years back. I remember that was on the news. That was a big one, and you're right. It went right through the middle of town. That was what it was like in '54, also when the tornado went through Waco. It basically just ripped a big part of the downtown apart. I've shown you over in the Dr. Pepper Museum, which was like a mile from the epicenter, and it still ripped the facade off the wall, and you can still see the damage to this day. And of course, when we hit the 70th anniversary of the Waco tornado just last year, I actually commemorated the event. I did a vlog on it and went to the location, where the RT Dennis building was. That's where all the people died. Let's see, we got it coming here. It's got to be coming pretty quick here now. Yeah, it's right on the edge, so it should be hitting us anytime. We're just gonna, this one's just gonna strafe us, so we probably won't get a lot of rain from this, but and a little bit more thunder. I don't know if you heard that. Yep, Tornado Alley. That's right. And I'm in it. I'm in it because it's all the warm, moist air coming off the Gulf of Mexico, converging with the cool, dry air coming over the Rockies. That creates the engine that makes the tornadoes. I still hear a little thunder. Long ways away though. I can't. So it's hard to tell how far away it is. Yeah, there was a good one too. Like I said, we're gonna stick with this for a while. Yeah, you're right, Bob. Most of the lightning's going east of us. But let's see, let's pull up that app here. That one. But you can still see it a little bit. A little blue cross at the top there. That's where Waco is. And then all little squares are how many lightning strikes there have been in the last hour or whatever the rate is. So there's a lot coming. And I can hear it starting to rain now. Yeah, I guess if you're going to wipe out a town, the first thing you want to hit is that hospital. We've had a very wet spring, and in my limited experience, that's unusual for Texas. Usually, the summer is a wet season. I hope it continues. I hope we see it, continue throughout the summer. I hope we get a really wet summer. We need one. Oh, Tracy's checking out. Thanks for stopping in, Tracy. See you next time. Yeah, I can hear the rain now. Definitely raining. As the storm gets closer to, we should hear more thunder. There was a good one. I felt that one vibrate the house. I don't know if you're hearing any of the thunder yet. Well, I was aware of the wildflowers because you can't help but see them when you're driving on the highways. Usually along the side of the highway, it's just flooded with wildflowers. And I don't know if you can hear the rain. It's coming down pretty good now. Yeah, it'd be good, nice to go into an El Nino. We could use it. Anyone else having problems with the stream freezing up? I remember El Niños in California. I would say the big possibility, it's a possibility. I mean, we could lose internet if a lightning strike happens. I've seen that happen, and it could lose power too. So yeah, there's another thunderclap. UPS isn't going to save me if the internet goes out, though. Yeah, we had El Ninos every once in a while in California, usually accompanied a real wet winter. Of course, California wasn't smart enough to capture any of the water, so it didn't do them any good. It all just ran out to the sea. Let's see. Still getting a little bit of thunder. We're definitely into probably the worst of it right now. Let's see, that's just a little cell. It looks like most of it's going east of us. Unless you want to be to experience the good part of this, looks like you want to be in Robinson. Temple's getting it too. But we're kind of right on the edge of it. It's interesting. It's kind of it's interesting to watch these storms kind of evolve. Because it went from nothing like just an hour ago to a pretty powerful storm. Oh, I think I'm pretty safe. Weather radio isn't even going off for this one. It was going off all morning this morning, starting about 5 a.m. Well, it's going to be like the eclipse, Darth. We're gonna go through this together. But if there's ever bad weather, I'm going to be out there in the storm, vlogging it at least, and maybe live streaming it. That's just my history. I've done that before. I don't think this one's going to be that bad, though. Let's just go mobile here. Battery's charged up. Go out under the patio cover, and then you'll be able to hear it. Right? Not coming down terribly hard, but we're getting a little bit of rain right now. It's always kind of nice. Let's see if I can get myself lit some way. There we go. There you can kind of see me and the rain. Look at all the water here. It's just soaked in here. This bottom part of the yard down here is just all flooded right now. So be careful. I'm getting water on the laptop. Don't want to do that. Let's see, what have I missed? Yeah, that's it. The day in the life of Breck. That's the truth. I gotta do a better job drying this thing off because right now the thing's wigging out. Let me get a towel. Hang on a second. Got a little bit of water on the mouse pad here, and that's kind of freaking everything out. I'm gonna get the cursor away from there here. Okay, let's see. Haven't seen Flash this weekend yet. She's tends to kind of stay hidden when it gets rainy like this and cold. But I did see her last weekend. She was out and about. Nice warm day last week. Yeah, see, I think we're already past it. Sounds like it's kind of fizzling already. Rain barrels filled to overflowing. I've got all these Home Depot buckets that I'm putting rainwater in here, so. Oh yeah, let's see, that thing, yeah. Yeah, that thing's from my mom. And you remember that wind chime that's in the background right there? I got that actually at local Buc-ee's, and then shortly afterwards, my mom had a wind chime in her house in California, and she gave that to me, and that one's right there right now. Those are both big, huge wind chimes, and my mom couldn't have that one at her apartment because it was just too big for her. So she gave it to me, and I got two of them. I guess it's a big yard right now. I got two of them, and the yard's big enough to handle it because, that's just how that works. So I like my big backyard. Anyway, sounds like the rain's pretty much over, so don't want to get any more drips of water on my laptop. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much the end, I think. So we went into a little overtime today, but I think the storm is over. So I'm going to pull the plug on this one. I think I got a Comic-Con to go to today, so I'm going to try and do that. That should be fun, and I'll catch up with you. Now, just a programming note, there's a possibility that I may not do a live stream next week. There's that Rock and Mineral show coming to town. I really, really want to see that. I want to spend some time with that. So I may end up going to that instead of doing a live stream. So just be prepared for that. And, I'll give you more information as we get closer. But just a heads up on that one. But anyway, I think that's the end of this one for today. Thanks, everyone. I had a great time. I hope you did too. And I'll see you next time. Good night.